Joining us now, Representative, Wisconsin, Tom Tiffany, one of my favorite representatives in the whole world. And now he's running for governor of Wisconsin. Announced a little while back, Governor Tony Evans balking at sharing Wisconsin SNAP recipients with the USDA because it's all full of fraud and waste, and they know it, and they don't want to be embarrassed. Joining me now, Representative Tom Tiffany. Tom, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good to join you today, John.
Now, we're going to miss you in the House, as you're one of my favorites. You're truth to power. Love your district in Wisconsin. Tell us why you're running for governor and how you win this race, Tom.
The states are dividing at this point. Those that are choosing to go the woke and broke route, like our neighbors, Minnesota and Illinois, and those that are choosing prosperity, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio, states like that are choosing prosperity. I want Wisconsin to be one of those states that chooses prosperity. And that happens when you have freedom plus opportunity, get you prosperity. And I think we can make Wisconsin one of the shining stars here in America, but it's going to take a change at the governor's office, and it's going to take a change of direction, and we're going to bring that.
So Tony Evers, the current governor, is he running again? Just kind of update our audience on the Democrat side.
After 2 terms, he is not running for re-election, so it's going to be an open seat, and so we got a great chance to be able to win Wisconsin, which Wisconsin's always a big state, right, John?
Well, listen, you had Scott Walker there. I mean, you've elected Republicans. You got a great Republican senator in Ron Johnson. One of the ways that Johnson won, he told me this, is he went on every local talk radio show in Wisconsin over and over and over. So I like that strategy. That's part of the reason you're on today. But tell us a little bit about the makeup of the Republican primary and your pathway first to the nomination, Tom.
Yeah, so there's one other person that's in Washington County executive on the Republican side. Good man, but we're focused on the general election. We believe that whenever I've run races, John, it's always been about you got to win the general election at the end of the day. I get it. You got to win the primary and stuff like that. But we're really focused on what are those general election issues. And you just brought up one in regards to Governor Evers, where he will not turn over the SNAP benefit information, SNAP food stamps. He will not turn over that food stamps information to the federal government so they can root out fraud. And we have called out Governor Evers immediately. And I can tell you, as governor, I will turn over that data. We'll make sure and protect people's privacy, but we will turn over that data to make sure that these are people that are legitimately on, because we are seeing what has happened in Minnesota. The fraud is enormous. Now, I'm not saying Wisconsin is as bad as Minnesota in regards to that, but we know every state has some. And when there's some, it should be rooted out. We're going to do that in Wisconsin if I'm governor.
Tell me about Minnesota and this fraud with these Somalian refugees, 80,000 of them. Now we find out that 87% of them with kids are on some form of welfare. Only a handful actually pay taxes into the system. They're all getting the earned income tax credit back. 87% on some form of welfare, and then $10 billion in fraud that we're now estimating. $10 billion of our money stolen by these Somali refugees. And it looks like Walz and the Democrats are just covering it up in order to keep power and get their votes. Break that down for us, Tom Tiffany.
Yeah, so let's put the blame where it belongs. It belongs on Governor Tim Walz, the Attorney General Keith Ellison. Walz had the opportunity to review this. He controls the executive branch. He could go to the Department of Health Services and say, we are going to review every one of these recipients. He has chosen not to. And it's very evident why he chose not to. The fraud is happening right under Attorney General Keith Ellison's nose. He's refused to do a thorough review of it and bring those people to justice. Thankfully, we have a U.S. attorney in Daniel Rosen who is doing it, as well as the former acting U.S. attorney, Joe Thompson, who has just done, he and his staff have done a yeoman's work digging this out and showing to the people of the state of Minnesota what has happened. But you also have now dozens of employees at the Department of Health Services who are coming out as whistleblowers and saying, we warned Tim Walz about this years ago, and he refused to listen to us because it really took off during COVID. And remember, the fraud involves a number of programs. It's housing, it's feeding our future, which was being done during COVID, but it's also using autism programs. I mean, how awful can you be taking an autism program and defrauding it? I mean, it is amazing the scale this has gone on. And by the way, a shout out to a group that has been reporting on this for years, and it's finally broken through the national consciousness. That's Powerline, Scott Johnson and Bill Glahn. They have done a terrific job of reporting this. Finally, the people across America are finding out what has happened here. And we need to get it rooted out. Every state should be submitting their data so that the federal government can make sure that we get the fraudsters out of the system.
Tom Tiffany with us, Congressman, Wisconsin 7. Tom, a candidate for governor of Wisconsin. He's likely to be the nominee in the primary and go against whoever the Democrat is in November 2026. It's going to be a tough race, as Wisconsin always is tough, no matter what it is. It's very split, very purple state. Congressman Tiffany, tell us about your legislation giving local communities and states the authority to block federal refugee settlements, like we don't have really what we've seen in Dearborn, Michigan, and what we've seen in Minnesota with the Somali refugees.
Yeah, just like has happened with what the Biden administration did with the southern border, with what they did with temporary protected status, TPS, and what they did paroling the Afghans in here, 77,000 of them. They took the refugee program and they absolutely maxed it out while they were in office. And we have a community in Wisconsin, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, west side of the state, where the local city council worked hand in glove with the Biden administration, very liberal group, the city council. And they didn't tell the locals that they wanted to bring a whole bunch of refugees in. There was a person who found out about this and let us know about it. And then we shone a light on it. And it turns out they didn't want to tell anybody about this in the city council. So what our bill does, the CARE Act, is it says that state and local governments should have some say on these refugee resettlements, because currently the federal government has sole authority to be able to resettle people as refugees. I think local governments and states should have some say on that because it's affecting their communities. It's affecting their states. Shouldn't they have some say? That's what our bill does to get some accountability for these refugee programs.
Tom, Tiffany, let's get to Congress a second, then we'll get back to your governor's race. So here we are, December 11th. You got 19 days before the Obamacare subsidies blow up, they expire. People are going to get massive increases in their bills. It's not going to bode well for us. They don't want to hear about Obamacare. They don't want to hear who's to blame. They don't want to care about Obama lied. They don't want to care about anything. All they know is their bill was $400, now it's $9 or $8 or $7. They can't pay it. What is the plans right now in the House? What have you seen that is a workable solution to bridge this subsidy gap while you and others work on a long-term solution, Tom?
Yeah, so there are a variety of options that are being considered in our conference that we can bring forward. And it all starts with choice, competition, and transparency. And remember, Obamacare restricts choice. It has taken choice away from us in every way possible and has driven up the cost of healthcare. So we've had high cost healthcare. Let's try low cost healthcare. And that starts by having more options. The first thing that's needed is transparency. Let's give price transparency to the people of the United States where they know how much things are going to cost. So that should be Bill 1. And then once you have transparency, let's give people more options. And there's a whole bunch of things that you can do, everything from association health plans to short-term insurance plans that people may need for a year or two as a bridge if they're changing jobs, those type of things. There's a whole raft of options, and hopefully we will get some of those passed. Give the American people the option to have low-cost health care after having Obamacare, which is nothing but high-cost health care.
That sounds great, but you got 9 days to do this, which you're not going to get it done in 9 days. And it doesn't matter whose fault the shutdown was, et cetera, but we got 10 days. What are you going to do about the Obamacare subsidies that expire and then people get sticker shock? And you guys are going to, I keep saying this, you're going to get blamed for it, just like you got blamed for the shutdown, even though you had nothing to do with it. I mean, the fake news media, Tom, has gone into, look, I've never seen them like this. This is worse than Obama Romney. It's worse than Trump Harris. I mean, they have gone into overdrive to defeat us, and it's unbelievable the fake news out there every day. So that's my concern. Is it all sounds good, but you can't do that in 9 days. What are you going to do in the interim?
Well, we can get people more options. And by the way, I'm not as pessimistic as you are in regards to winning that battle. I think the 5 weeks of the Schumer shutdown highlighted for the American people. So, why are we extending COVID era subsidies? Why is it going to take all kinds of more money? And I think it's starting to burn into the American people that the Democrats are actually propping up the health insurance companies. I think we have a real opportunity here to be able to get some reforms that are in this. And so here's what I'm looking for at the end of the day. Whatever we pass, John, I don't know what it's going to be. I want to see some free market healthcare reforms in there that get the American people more choices, more options, not less, like Obamacare.
Okay, when you get to the governor's race, the Democrats are going to demonize you. They're going to call you MAGA, right wing. They're going to call you a Trump supporter, this, that, and the other. How are you going to overcome that and get your issues out and break through the liberal media stranglehold you got in Wisconsin?
Number one, I'm a lifelong resident of Wisconsin. I grew up on a dairy farm in western Wisconsin with my 7 brothers and sisters. I mean, I'm Wisconsin through and through. So that's not going to work in the same way that they've used against some other candidates. I'm just an average guy in Wisconsin. And then we're going to deliver the message. You alluded to Senator Johnson earlier when we started out here. One of the things, who are the 2 people that have won statewide races in Wisconsin in the last 10 years? There's 2 of them, Donald Trump, Ron Johnson. What did they do? Bold colors, clear contrast. Follow our social media at Tom Tiffany WI, and you'll see those bold colors, clear contrast, because you don't get to play the game of Democrat light. You will lose. They will vote for the real thing if you play the Democrat light game. You have to paint the clear contrast between Democrats and Republicans. We will do that every day. That's the route to success.
Are you in favor of President Trump's tariffs, the $2,000 rebate to those who need it?
So, I'm trying to, I don't know all the details of that. Who would the rebates go to?
Well, right now, what they're proposing is there's going to be an income cap on it, as there should be. But basically, what President Trump wants to do is when you get to affordability, is say, look, these tariffs have brought all this money in. We're going to give some of it back to the stakeholders, which are the people of the United States, not illegals, not people that broke the law, but people that are hardworking Americans. So that's his concept. On the other hand, obviously, you put more money in the economy without a commensurate increase in GDP. What happens? Prices go up. I mean, it's just basic 8th grade economics.
Yeah, you got to make sure that it's not inflationary. There's no doubt about it. I think the stuff that we've done so far in regards to regulations and taxes, I mean, that's always been, a Republican building block in our platform. And it's there for a reason, because when you reduce regulations without jeopardizing the environment or anything like that, but you create less paperwork for people, there's going to be more prosperity. People get to keep more money in their pockets. And then we were reducing taxes on the middle class. Taxes on tips, overtime, and you senior citizens out there, your federal taxes are going to go away on Social Security. Putting more money into people's pockets that way is going to be the most effective way. I think Scott Bessent is the best spokesman, one of the best spokesmen, the best spokesman in regards to the economy for the Trump administration, because he lays it out very clearly how we are going to be a more prosperous America in 2026. Gas prices down, egg prices down, interest rates down. The economy is going to go up, John.
Tom Tiffany with us, Congressman, Wisconsin 7, running for governor of Wisconsin. That'll be settled. in 2026. Incumbent Governor Tony Evers cannot run again, so it's going to be an open seat. And Tom's got a hell of a shot to win this. Let's get to a quick question on your colleague Derek Van Norden. He's in another tough race. Is he going to be able to pull it out?
He has the last few. Derek he's in a tough district, and I believe he will pull it out again. And by the way, I'm going to help him do that because I grew up in Derek's district in western Wisconsin. I alluded to 7 brothers and sisters. We all grew up on a dairy farm. I mean, we're true blue Wisconsinites, and but we grew up on that west side of the state, and I know those people really well. Lots of friends, relatives, all the rest over there. We're going to lift all boats in Wisconsin with this governor's run.
You know, you mentioned growth. I mean, a lot of people talking about affordability. Obviously, that's one of the issues. We got to keep prices down. Gas has come down in some areas. I had somebody call me in Virginia yesterday. Said the gas was $1.69. I mean, that's like, what are we going back to, like the 90s, right? I can't remember when it was under $2. But so prices are eventually going to come down, but we're also going to get economic growth because all of these things that are going on, as you said, the tax cuts, none of this is really hit. We just got another decrease in a quarter point from the Fed. What's a time frame where you see the growth economy based on one big, beautiful bill take hold and people start to feel it?
I think it starts here in 2026. If you watch Secretary Bessent, he lays it out, I think, really well in detail, better than I can. But he talks about how the money from no taxes on tips, overtime, Social Security, that's all going to hit here in the first half of 2026. And people are going to have more money in their pockets that they're going to be able to invest and spend as they choose to, not the federal government. They choose to. And that's always a prescription for growth in America.
Hey, there's no doubt. I'm pretty optimistic going forward. A lot of people just in panic mode now because of some of the things that have gone on, but all this is going to start to hit. Let me just ask you something. Mayor-elect Mandami in New York City the other day put a video out basically telling his soon-to-be constituents how to avoid federal law. I don't think I've ever seen this done since probably 1861. So, I mean, he's basically not a part of the United States. I mean, he says he wants international law, not U.S. law. He's telling you how to avoid federal law. I mean, basically, are they going to secede from the United States? I mean, how do you put a video out telling people how to defy U.S. law? I don't see how this is right.
I have no idea, John. I had no idea that the Confederacy had moved to New York City because that is what has happened when you're going to defy the law in that way. I can tell you, and he's going to run into, well, he's got a lot of followers. He's going to run into some headwinds in regards to this.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. Tom, Tiffany, running for governor. Give me your number one issue. Number one thing.
Number 2, I'm going to give you 2. One is education. Wisconsin is in free fall. We've fallen behind Mississippi in educational attainment. Unacceptable. 2, we're going to put out a red tape reset. We are one of the most regulated states in the Midwest. That's got to change, and we will see Wisconsin grow and be prosperous.
Education, get rid of the bureaucratic red tape, spur entrepreneurial businesses, spur investments, spur jobs. Okay, that's a good platform. I get that. When you talk about education, how are you going to do that? Pay teachers more? What's your solution to that?
We're going to set higher standards, not lower. They've reduced standards here in Wisconsin. We got to raise standards. And we should put money into students and families. We should pay good teachers more money. And then we hold administrators accountable for results. We do those things, and Wisconsin will be successful. Hey, John, I got to wrap. I got to do another show here.
All right, I got to end with this. Who's going to win the college football playoffs?
I have no idea. All I know is that the Packers are going to defeat the Broncos on their home turf in Denver this Sunday.
I figured we'd get to the Packers at the end. Whatever. I do think they are going to win Sunday. I think the Broncos ship has got a lot of leaks in it, and they've played nobody. They got to go to Green Bay and play a real team. I think they get blown out. Tom, I'm with you on that. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
Go to @TomTiffanyWI. You can find us on social. And TomTiffany.com is our website. Check us out anytime.
Always good to chat with you, Tom. Go Cheeseheads. I'll be right back. Stay with us.